While Casa Amor continues to deliver fireworks and drama, it seems like we have two new villains to talk about. I think Rob has definitely been dethroned as the season's villain. He was the villain in the first half along with Leah. And now, however, I think the villains are definitely Aaron and Kordell, especially if that preview of Kordell for the next episode is what some of us think it is. But before we get there, let's talk about Daia and Kordell, and it coming to light that Daia has been all over Odell Beckham Jr.'s Instagram photos in the comments, and now she's just looking like a big old groupie for Kordell's brother, and maybe trying to get to OBJ through Kordell, even though I don't think that happens. And maybe Kordell is used to this. Maybe he's used to his brother's groupies. But I don't know. The whole situation is not a good look for Kordell. I'm not going to fry him too much just yet because he is young and Daia is older than him by a good 5 years or more. And I was young once too. You know, older women in their 20s can sometimes be very aggressive with younger men in their 20s. And I feel like that is a situation here with Daia and Kordell. Now, there's this whole situation with him and Serena and how Serena seemed like she was friend zoning him. But in the end, Serena has just been proven right for being herself. Like, I don't think Serena is going to be looking bad through this when this all comes out or to the public, or she should look bad to the public. In fact, I think she is a lot smarter than the public because the public was giving her too much shit, so much shit for her kind of holding her cards close to her chest and not really doing too much with Kordell. But really, she's a slow burner, and she proved herself to actually be a slow burner. She was just being herself, not really giving him the runaround, still exploring because that is the game. And yeah, you can say Kordell is exploring now, but after just a day or two with Daia, how far they've gone in just a day or two, he's clearly getting taken advantage of, but not really. Like, yeah, she's been so aggressive, but like, can you have any boundaries? It would be funny if it wasn't annoying that Kordell gave that big old speech about having boundaries at Casa and then has had zero with Daia. And now the preview looking like they could have sex. I mean, if that is the case, I will have to give Kordell a lot of shit on the next video that I do because that is extreme, I think. Like, it's already extreme to say Serena and Daia are neck and neck after one day of knowing Daia. But, you know, maybe if Serena actually is looking for love, like I've said a lot of times now, it's the wrong show to really be looking for love. But Kordell is just looking stupid, honestly, because to go that far after just a few days, I don't know. And Aaron's kind of in a similar situation where Aaron is looking like a big villain. Early on in the season, he gave Kaylor so much shit over a kiss. And now you have Kaylor being kind of afraid to get too close to another guy because of that manipulation from Aaron so early in the season. While Aaron's going so far with Daniela, or whatever her name is, honestly, I forgot. But Aaron's going so far with her already as well. So that's some real villain shit from Aaron. Aaron, a big villain in Casa because of that situation early on when he threw this big old fit about Kaylor wanting to kiss other guys and explore. Now he's doing way worse while Kaylor's crying about him off and on. And I've given Kaylor a lot of crap for crying, and I still hate watching it. It's kind of all she does, which is redundant. But I do kind of now feel like people like Kaylor do need to be on this show because I've said she was kind of worthless to the cast, but it actually does add an element to the cast when to have someone like Kaylor who is, you know, kind of a sap, kind of going too far too fast with somebody in this show, and now she has to cry all the time. I honestly do get it as an element of the show, so I'm going to try to not give Kaylor so much flack going forward. I've never really liked her though, because I do only see her crying all the time, and that's kind of the only part she has played. But yeah, Aaron, big villain. All that fake facade now gone, thankfully, because I hated that fake facade anyway. And I don't know who's worse in the situation between Aaron and Kordell. Aaron, yeah, clearly a villain. But Kordell, I don't want to call him a villain, but it might be worse that I see him as, like, just dumb as shit. That might be worse. Because I think he just dropped the ball on winning the show. He lost sight of winning the show, or being a winning couple, for maybe just some sex who's from a girl that's really just a groupie of his brother. Like we saw earlier on the season, talking about how he likes that people don't see him as, you know, Odell Beckham Jr.'s brother. That's honestly a reason why he likes Serena in the first place. And now this is what happens. I mean, just dumb from Kordell. So yeah, that was me being light on Kordell. It will be a lot worse if he and Daia actually end up sleeping together, because I think that's just even dumber. It's just too soon. Have some decorum. Have some boundaries. I mean, it's one thing to explore, but it's a whole other thing to do this after just a couple days. I mean, that's just... I mean, it makes for good TV. I'm not going to deny that. But it is dumb, especially in a game sense of winning Love Island. But I think anything I say or, you know, try and fry up Kordell in the next video is going to be nothing compared to when he gets back into Casa. No matter if he brings Daia or not, once it comes out what happened, I think not only is Serena going to eat him up, but I cannot wait for Liv to eat up Kordell and Aaron, because Liv has probably had the most arguments with the most people this season, and she has yet to lose an argument. So I just know she's going to verbally scalp those guys, and I can't wait to see it, because like I've said in all my videos, Liv is my favorite. Just a few more things to talk about. I think the editing with the Serena and Kordell story has been stellar. The way they painted the picture, it brought us through Serena's thought process this whole time, and at first made it seem like she might just be not that into Kordell. And I think that was kind of the case sometimes early on. I do think she saw him more as a friend, but she also said the whole time that she was a slow burner, and she has practiced what she preached the whole time. She was a slow burner on other dates as well, and has yet to kiss anyone outside of games. So I think not only is Serena maybe looking for love, but also now looking like she was the smartest person in the house, because people can say, oh, Serena should have given Kordell more because look at him now. Well, Kaylor gave Aaron everything and look at him now. So, like, I know that just falls into everybody wanting to say men are trash, and I don't know if I can argue against that when Aaron and Kordell are doing this. Other people, like, I did want to talk about Leah a little bit and her stands, but I do feel like she is one of the only people that can win at this point because she has so many stands. I don't get standing. I said this in the last video. It's too much. I just don't like the hypocrisy when it comes to standing, because when you're a fan of something, when you're a fan of a sports team, you get pissed when they're doing something stupid. When you're a fan of a TV show, if the writing gets bad, you can talk about how it's crappy because you expect it to be good, because when you fell in love with the show, it was good. But when you're standing a celebrity or standing a player like Leah, suddenly they can do no wrong. And I hate that shit. I hated the hypocrisy that Leah was supposed to be the victim to Rob when Rob was being the professional victim and manipulating her with toxicity. And she was kind of the victim in that. And that's kind of why I think she got so many stands in the first place. But then when she kind of played her own games, was her own toxic self with the Connor and Janae situation, people acted like she didn't do anything wrong. And now they just want to stand her with whatever guy she's with. I wouldn't be mad if Leah wins, because I do think she has provided some good television, but I just hate the hypocrisy of the standing. And right now, she doesn't really have a guy. She has these little flirtmances, and that's about it. I do kind of hope she sticks with Miguel because I've come to really like Miguel. I think a lot of people actually really like Miguel. My fellow Pisces, he is hoeing it up, kind of like Aaron and Kordell, but the biggest difference is he owns his hoeing. Like, everyone expects him to do this. He has not denied the fact to anyone that he is here to have a good time, whereas Aaron's been playing games the whole time, and Kordell was looking like he was just this poor friend zone victim of Serena, and now after 2 days with Daia, he wants to get it on with his brother's groupie. And then there's Janae, who I hope keeps someone around in the villa, because I don't really buy her and Kenny still, because Kenny has no personality. And Janae has all the personality. I love Janae's Sagittarius personality. She just talks just to talk sometimes, but what comes out of her mouth is constantly hilarious. She's had many confessionals this season that made me laugh out loud because she is that funny. I did like her and Josiah, I think is his name's connection. I like that somebody's kind of into her finally that has a personality. So he seems like a player too, and I think Janae sees that. She's talked about it a lot in these past 2 episodes. So I don't know how serious that can be, but I don't know how serious Janae is, honestly, about finding somebody in the villa as well. I think Janae is here to flirt a lot, and I actually do think her and Jose are funny to watch together, even though I don't think they would actually be a real couple. But hey, all in all, I think the main thing still is that Kendall and Nicole are the front runners, and Kendall is playing the game. Not only does he love to gossip with all the women, but he loves to, rally all the guys to get into all these situationships at Casa Amor. Meanwhile, he's not, and I already think he and Nicole have kind of broken out as the front runners. So in my mind, to actually win the season, it is either Kendall or Nicole, or the Leah stans are going to get behind Leah and whoever she ends up with. Those are the only 2 scenarios I see as of right now to actually win the show if we're talking about winners.